Fear and anxiety are a big part of living with multiple sclerosis, and it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of uncertainty there. What if I progress? What if I get into a wheelchair? What if I lose my job? What if I'm in pain? Nobody can really tell you how your condition's going to progress, and that's really difficult to live with. So finding a way to process it is important, because that constant background stress level can really wear you down and make the condition itself worse. And I've lived through a lot of it, and 20 years of multiple sclerosis. And even now that I'm out of the wheelchair and in remission from trigeminal neuralgia for 5 years, I still experience concerns. I get stabbed in the face, nerve jab, and you just don't know with trigeminal neuralgia. It's like Russian roulette, and it's the click of the cylinder. And is it gonna blow your head off, or is it just gonna be a click? And being able to process it and just keep going and not losing it is key. And I've had some experiences doing that help me. These experiences shape how I deal with my fear from MS. Many years ago, I was very early in my career, and I was leading a sales team, and we sold some software to the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Nothing classified or anything exotic, but it was a few $100,000 worth of software, and they wanted their money back. And my company decided they didn't want to give them their money back. And somebody had to go tell them that. And me being me, I'm like, I'll do it. So I flew to Washington, and I'm in the CIA headquarters. You walk in the front, and there's the big eagle on the floor, just like the movies and all that. And I'm starting to think maybe this was not such a good idea. Maybe coming down here by myself to tell the CIA to go stick it, that they were not going to get a few $100,000 out of us, was not my best move. And as I'm being led down a subterranean hallway that's completely abandoned, no windows, I'm being led down there by a very large, very armed guard, and I'm starting to lose it. My anxiety is starting to go off the chart. I'm like, they're just gonna push my rental car into the Potomac. I'll never see my family again. They'll just bury me in an unmarked grave. Nobody is gonna know what has happened to me. And I'm just on the brink of totally losing it behind this guard. And we're walking through this hallway, and there's these large steel doors that are closing as we're going down the hallway. And all of a sudden into my head pops the theme to the TV show Get Smart, the old 1960 spy show. And the absurdity of it, I can't get it out of my head. And I'm just wanting to laugh and giggle. And I'm like, I know if I start giggling, this guard's just going to turn around and shoot me in the face and be done with it. And so I'm just biting my lip, trying to hang in there. And all of a sudden, there's a breakthrough. And the absurdity of this is just my total lack of control. I'm already dead. It's already dead. Doesn't matter. I can do anything. I can say anything. I can be anything. It's incredibly powerful. Suddenly you're Superman. And the guard doesn't see me behind him transforming into Superman, but I am. And he leads me down into my meeting space, and I give them the bad news, and they don't like it, but I sell it, and they accept it. And I walk out of the meeting alive. They're happy. I'm happy. It's all good. And that breakthrough, knowing that place is out there, has been incredibly powerful. That sometimes just letting go, that there's an incredible amount of power and freedom that can be achieved there, just plowing through the fear. It's there. It's a special place. But I've taken a couple other lessons out of that that have been very helpful to me. One of them is that fear lives in the imagination, and our reality is never nearly as bad as what we imagined it to be. I had come up with 50 different ways that I was going to die that day, and even if I did die, it was only going to be one way. I would have worried about 49 ways that they didn't kill me, and it was fine. And so sometimes just realizing the absurdity of this is all an imagined future state is key. And I took away the lesson that don't suffer before you have to. Yes, this may be awful, but if it's not awful right now, if you haven't suffered yet, you may never. Just let it go. You can't control it. Don't worry about it. What'll happen will happen. I've also learned to embrace uncertainty. Uncertainty is a huge part of multiple sclerosis, but it cuts both ways. Yes, it can be awful. The possibilities of negativity are there, but it can also be amazing. The possibilities that there can be a breakthrough, that something great can come of this is still possible. Whether it's finding a treatment that works for you or just coming to a peace with where you're at and it's okay, the reality of it is oftentimes much, much better than we thought it would be. And we seldom think about that. It's very easy to get focused on the negative. Just embracing that and recognizing that uncertainty is not always the enemy. The unknown is a dark place, but if you turn on the lights, it may be a beautiful place. You don't know. Anyway, with MS, I realized you don't always get to control the next chapter, but you can control how you respond to it. You can't change what happens to you, just how you adapt and respond when that does happen. And if it gets bad, you'll deal with it with the same tools that you've got. You'll be surprised how strong you are and what's possible. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just recognize fear is a signal. It doesn't always mean actual danger. It's just a noise level that's rising up. And sometimes recognizing the absurdity of the situation and just setting that noise aside and allowing you to focus on what you need to can be a critical thing. Because sometimes the scariest, most terrifying hallway just leads to a meeting.